right, welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Hidden Gems. This is the video series where I talk about those books that are still probably tucked away in those boxes at your LCS. These are those forgotten about, undervalued, underappreciated, and sometimes underpriced books that you can go and scoop out of those boxes for potentially cheap. Again, these aren't the hot books. These aren't the things that everybody's searching for based off of like recent news. These are things that I find interesting personally and things I just want to remind you that are out there, probably, like I said, hidden in those boxes, those little treasures you can go and pull that a lot of people just, have ignored or forgotten about over the last couple of years. We're talking about old variants, last issues to know, connecting covers, fun oddball stuff that, again, I like looking for, and I don't mind sharing it with all of you. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see what books I have for you this week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. Okay, so for this week, I do kind of have a theme. I was going back to like the regular, run of things where I give you a few categories and decided, you know what? I'm just going to give you one category this week because I had no way to how to break these up. Like there was no way to kind of chunk them out. So I said, you know what? I've been waiting to cover these for a while now. I probably would have covered these on Forgotten Variants if I'd still been doing that series, but I figured I can roll it into here. So we are going to be talking about variants today. More specifically, we're going to be talking about 1 in 10 old school Justice League of America, 1 in 10 variants. So these are lower ratio incentives. These are things that might still be just in a regular box. Dealers and shops might not have pulled or repriced these. Like I said, these were low incentive ratios that oftentimes just get mixed in with the rest. They don't really stand out. And a lot of times, like I said, they get ignored and forgotten about. But some of them are worth your time to know and go and scoop up. And others are just kind of cool 1 in 10s that you might like and be able to get for a cheap price. So with that all said, let's go dive in and start with one that is already a little bit pricey because we're going to start in again with Justice League of America, the 1 in 10s. We're going to start with number 45. This is a David Mack Supergirl cover. It's awesome. If you like David Mack, you got the whole watercolor kind of style. It's gorgeous. I like it. The Girl of Steel. Also, you can tell for this age of DC books, these are like 2010, I think. Yeah, I think these are 2010. They didn't have other variants at the time. So you can check that barcode down below and you can see that's what's in there. That's what the barcode stands for. Those last 5 digits, it's 04521. That stands for issue 45. So 045 for issue 45. Second cover, first print. So it's cover 2, which is the B cover, which is the 1 in 10 in this case, and first print. If this were a second print, that final number would be a 2. If there were a third cover, there could potentially be a 3 in that second to last spot. But that's what that barcode actually means. I know I've mentioned it before, but in case you weren't aware, that's a quick way to tell if you're looking at a variant or not when you're looking especially at old school DC, because like they didn't really call it out a lot of times when they had their variants. So knowing how to read that barcode definitely helps you figure out sometimes. Like you're flipping through a run of Justice League of America, you don't know if this was a regular cover or not because it doesn't really scream, hey, variant. So know how to read that barcode. That said, issue 45, since it's Supergirl, it does already have its fans. A copy of this recently sold, well, if you consider end of April recent, best offer on $40. They got $30 for this 1 in 10. So triple ratio ain't too bad for, a 13-year-old book at this point. Asking prices for this one, well, as I said, it could be a little bit on the heftier side, $45, $55, $80 asking price. But maybe you can luck into this. Again, it's only a 1 in 10. It's not like there was some super high ratio that are going to be impossible to find. A lot of places would have been ordering, 20, 30 copies of this Justice League of America at the time because it was a popular run. And they would have, 2 or 3 of these. So it's not unheard of for you to be able to dig these out of boxes. Up next, we're going to roll through the series. Like I said, there was no real way for me to break this up. So we're running through the end of this Justice League of America run where it ran. I'm going to go from issue 45 all the way to the end, which is issue 60. So buckle up, settle in. This is what we're covering this week. Issue 46 we have next. We're going to switch it up. We're going to move away from David Mack, who does have a bunch of these covers in this run for one reason or another. He did a handful of them, but we're going to shift it over to Francis Manipool, 1 in 10 for issue 46. You get that, pretty cool speed cover. You got Liberty Bell there. I like it. It's a fun little cover. And Francis Manipool at the time was the Flash artist. And you can see here with the lightning and all that stuff. So Justice League of America, guest starring the Justice Society of America. Fun book. None sold within the last 3 months. So no copies sold. And available copies for this one, it's got a range as cheap as $4 to like $9, $10, all the way up to $20. So that's what we're talking about here. Prices could be very inconsistent, especially if you go look in stores and in shops. This could you might even find some of these in dollar boxes for all I know. Like these are things a lot of dealers even won't know what they are or care what they are. They just, oh, it's old school DC. Who cares? Just throw it in a box and somebody will want it. But know what you're looking at. But even like you'll see online, you can get this as cheap as $4 online. That's less than half ratio. It's like regular cover price for a book these days. So if you're interested, there you go. There are cheap options out there too. And a lot of these are like that. A lot of these are as cheap as this, if not even cheaper. Moving on to the next book, because we don't want to spend a lot of time on every one of these. Not every one of these deserves like a lot of attention, but we'll look at this Alex Garner 1 in 10 for 47. I like all the Green Lantern in the background. It's very bright. It makes, Batman kind of stand out, glowing all around him. But again, it's that JSA, Justice League crossover here going on. So you got Alan Scott and all that there. Pretty fun. It's a Dark Things. What is that, part 3? Cool. Once again, like the last, no copies sold. As I said, not a lot of people are looking for these, so you're not seeing a lot of movement. We've covered 3 books already. 1 sold out of the 3 of them in the last 3 months. And asking prices on this one, $3, $6, $7. So all well under ratio. This is what I'm talking about, because this is the kind of cover that would just blend in and just look like a regular old, Justice League book. Like, how would you know this is a variant? How would you know this is a 1 in 10 unless, you knew what you were looking at? And again, there you look at that barcode, 04721, issue 47, cover 2, first print. Cover 2 is the 1 in 10. Moving on. We're going to keep rolling it. 48. This is a Ryan Sook cover. Kind of cool, right? I think it's Jade. I think that was her name. Alan Scott's daughter. Eventually became a Green Lantern, but here she's a White Lantern. This is crossing over with all of the, the Blackest Night type stuff at the time. So you got the, all the different rainbow of colors for all the different lanterns, which again was a fun time and a fun read. But this is another book that, once again, nobody's buying this. Nobody bought one lately. Asking price on this one? Well, my comic shop's got a copy for $3 if you want it. Otherwise, you're looking at like $10 to $12. Once again, right around ratio. You find cheap copies out there. Granted, that $3 one is listed as fine, so you're not always going to get a near mint copy for super cheap. But if you just really want a book, sometimes you don't care all that much if it's got a tick or two. It's not like you're going to get everything you buy graded. Sometimes you just want it, and as long as it doesn't look like it's been chewed up and crumpled and shoved in somebody's back pocket, I at least personally also don't mind, a little spine tick or two if it's just something that I just kind of want. Like, I'm look for a better copy another time. But if it's cheap enough, I'll take it. That said, rolling on. That's 48. Let's go to 49. Like I said, we got to get all the way to issue 60. So 1 in 10 for issue 49. Francis Manipool gets another shot at it. And here we go. We got Donna Troy Unleashed right there on the cover. Yeah, it's been kind of fun. You don't see a lot of Donna Troy covers. Nor do you see a lot of Donna Troy variants. So, I mean, she's back in the current Titans run, the new Titans run where they're taking over basically for the Justice League. Maybe she gets a little bit more of a platform to kind of stand out once again, because I haven't heard a lot from Donna Troy in a while. She hasn't really been in the forefront of things. So we'll see if she gets a higher profile in the coming year or so. But with that, this one sold cheap. Look at that. $3, $4, $3. $3 to $4 this thing sold for. This is a 1 in 10, mind you. Asking prices, well, not much more than that. $4, $4, $7. Like I said, some of these are cheap. And if you like it, go get it. If you don't, don't matter. No harm, no foul. I'm just sharing these things so you know what you're looking at. A lot of these DC books have a ton of runs with these 1 in 10s. Like Wonder Woman's got a cool run of 1 in 10s. Flash, even Green Lantern's got some good ones. The JSA, there's some JSA ones. There's a ton. We can get into those, somewhere down the line. I know I've talked about some of these before, but a lot of good DC 1 in 10 variants that are worth knowing because, it's kind of fun to know that that extra little bit of rarity. Like, sure, print runs are high enough that there's not like, only a handful of copies out there. There's plenty out there, but still, it's kind of fun finding these. At least I think so. Well, as you can see, 49, we're coming up on a Milestone issue, and with that Milestone issue, there were other covers as well. But here we have the giant size 50th issue, which gives us this 1 in 10 by Mark Bagley. Yep, of Ultimate Spider-Man fame. You don't see a lot of DC Mark Bagley covers, but here we got one, and it's the what are they? The not the criminal syndicate. I forget what they go by. Ultraman and Power Woman. I forget, but there you go. You got them mirrored with the the DC side of not DC, but the regular universe side of things with Batman, Supergirl, and Donna Troy there. Anyway, pretty cool cover. I'm just blanking on what they called themselves. I don't know why, but not the Unjustice League. Whatever. No copy sold of this one either. So we're still rolling through, and most of these don't have a lot of sales, but we do have copies available for this one. Granted, wide range once again, $5, $7, $13, all the way up to $25 for this 1 in 10. So you get as cheap as $5, as high as $25. Like I said, I'm just telling you, look for it when you're digging in a box. Maybe you find this for a couple of bucks and you go, that's cool. I'll get this pretty cool cover. And, it's a 1 in 10. And hopefully you grab it for like $5 or less or something. It's just something I'm just trying to point out, something to keep an eye on when you're out there digging, especially if you come into a run of Justice League of America, especially during this run. That said, let's get into our final 10. Our final 10 here. Let's get to 51. David Mack comes back. We got a Kongorilla and a Starman cover. Pretty fun. A lot of white. There's a lot of white on a lot of these covers, so especially the David Mack ones. A lot of white background, white palette, and then you see him doing his watercolor thing there on top of it. This 1 in 10 in particular had one sale, $1.35. That's right, about $1. Sold for about $1. And asking prices are not much higher. $5, $6. Well, here's a 20. But still, most of the ones are listed in that kind of $5, $6 kind of range. So definitely under ratio, even online. A lot of these are cheap. But then you hit the occasional expensive one like that Supergirl. And, well, guess what? David Mack came back with another Supergirl, but this time she's got Batman in tow as well. Omega Part 3, Return of Dark Supergirl. I do kind of like this cover as well. It's another David Mack, as I mentioned. Again, pretty awesome art. I like the layout of this thing. You got Supergirl, the Dark Supergirl right down there in front. No copy sold, but the asking prices are on the higher side. $25, $30, $35, actually $40. So $25 to $40 seems to be the range of the ask for this 1 in 10. Because once again, Supergirl covers sell. So there you go. You would think any female cover would probably sell, but going by that rationale, but that is not the case. As you saw with that Donna Troy book before, it was only like $3 it was selling for, $3, $4. And I think we got another one coming up here with issue 53. And this one's a David Mack one. Got a nice, picture frame kind of style going up behind her. It's another one that doesn't really sell. As you can see here, no copy sold within the last 3 months. And then the asking prices, he only wants about $5. So it's another cheap one. So for whatever reason, not a lot of Donna Troy fans out there. Everybody's buying Supergirl. Nobody's looking for Donna Troy, which I think is a mistake. And I think is a disservice to her. So I'm telling you, we'll see her profile come up a little bit if she gets a little bit more center stage. Maybe she even gets her own series rolling out of one of these books one of these days. But for right now, she's right there on the team with the Titans and, Nightwing and whatnot. So keep an eye on her. That's all I'm saying. And keep an eye on her, the few variants that she has, especially when you're only talking about a couple of bucks. Why not take a shot? And with that, we have what looks like an Alias cover. It looks like it's the Purple Man showing up in the DC universe, but David Mack gave us another one. But this is Eclipso, who also is purple, so it makes sense why it looks this way. But my first instinct when I saw this was, hey, it's Purple Man. It looks like an Alias cover, because it kind of does. It looks like his Alias run. But this is The Rise of Eclipso, issue 54. Again, James Robinson, also a good read here. With all this Justice League JSA stuff at the time, James Robinson was doing a good job, and I think these were some interesting stories. If we're talking about reading too, because sometimes we do open these things up, and under these covers there actually is a story and actually a comic book that we can sit down and read. Just a reminder, because sometimes I think we forget about that. And once again, a familiar story. No copy sold in the last couple of months, but asking prices $4, $6, $10. So ratio and less. David Mack gets a break. He gets a break after 54, and in issue 55, we roll in Dan Jurgens, who I always think of Superman. Like the Death of Superman time was like what was it, Brett Breeding and Dan Jurgens. That's just what I think of. Andrew Sema, I think, was too at the time. Anyway, issue 55, Reign of Doomsday. I guess that's why we're getting Jurgens on this cover, because we get that Doomsday tie-in. We got a 1 in 10. You still got Dark Supergirl rolling there in the front. We still got the Blue Lantern. We got a Blue Lantern there in the background, so we're still rolling in with the whole, falling Blackest Night kind of thing. And we got plenty of other characters laying down in front. You got Donna Troy. You got Jade there. 1 in 10. Another book that has no sales. Like I told you, these aren't things that are moving, but doesn't mean they're not interesting. At least to me, I find them interesting. And a couple of copies out there, it's $8 to $10. So again, right under ratio, right around ratio. Not terrible. It's not my favorite. No, I'll admit, this is not my favorite of the bunch. I like the Supergirl Max. Yes, the more expensive ones are the ones I like. And like I said, I like the Donna Troy's too. But with that, 56, we're rolling in here to the end. Issue 56, we got David Mack coming back. Faith and Hope. Pretty cool. We still got the Lantern thing rolling on here. Rise of Eclipso storyline is still moving forward as we're wrapping up this series. Once again, no copies sold. And the few copies that were out there are only looking for $4, $5, $6.21. Granted, that is also out of the UK with another $12 shipping, so you're looking at more like a $20 cost there. But the $4 and $5, even with the shipping, you're still looking at 8 to 10 after shipping and taxes. So it's not terrible. But here we go. David Mack came back, but we give him a pause again. We give him another timeout. He's going to come back in. He's going to finish this series out, but we're giving him one more pause here with issue 57. Ed Bennis is rolling in with this Spectre cover and Eclipso, so we're continuing that Eclipso storyline. Yeah, pretty fun. You got Batman in the background and whatnot. But even with that, still no copies sold. This made it easier for me to do this run this week. There were no copies that were sold that I had to, go and clip and put into this thing. But we still have a few for sale. Once again, $5 to $6. Not expensive. $5 to $6. So that's even online. Who knows what you find at your shops? And that's the point. I'm not pointing these out to try to get you guys to buy all these books online. I'm just reminding you of stuff that you can go and look for when you hit your shop and you go digging, that maybe you find some of this stuff for cheap. You know what the market is. You know what the prices are. So if you find it and you're interested, you know if you found a deal or not. Because, go support your LCS. Go digging at your shops that are near you. Hopefully, I know not everybody has shops near them and they have to do the online thing. But for those of you who do have shops near you, go and support them. Keep them in business so you still have a place to go and dig. It's, again, why I try to spread it around. I don't get to go as often as I'd like these days. But when I do go out, I do try to hit up different spots as often as I can just to kind of spread my money around and give everybody a little bit of a business. Because again, I've been there in a while. I go so find some new stuff. But that all said, go support your LCS. Next issue 58. Nope, not David Mack yet. We got one more break before he gets here. Aaron Lopresti. This is okay. I'm not a big Adam fan though. And then you get the whole, Congorilla. We got a whole Green Lantern, construct that's really dominating this cover. So that's why it's mostly green. But 1 in 10 on this one, as you might guess, no sales. And those prices are, as you probably guessed, around that $5 to $6 mark, which seems to be pretty popular for a good chunk of this run. $5 to $6 for these 1 in 10s. But there you have it if you find it. 2 more left. 2 more David Macks to wrap us up here. And they're both pretty solid. I like this one. So we get Jade there with her brother Obsidian. Issue 59. Second to last. We're closing out with the Rise of Eclipso. And like I said, it's a David Mack cover. But it still has not sold any copies within the last 3 months. And once again, this is more of like one of the in-betweeners. 15 to $18. Granted, that 15 is also out of the UK with like $20 shipping, so that's really a $35 buy. And even that $18 one's got $6 shipping, so you're looking at a little over 20. So this one is more in that middle range. You're looking at double ratio. Again, probably because of the Jade cover and Obsidian there in the background. Get the yin and yang. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's one, that I like to grab when I find it. Just like our final issue and our final one for today. Issue 60, Bats front and center. You got characters, kind of sketched out there in the Batwing behind there, but Bats is front and center. Issue 60, final issue of Justice League of America for this run. I think we're wrapping up here. It's like 2011, thereabouts. David Mack on this 1 in 10. We did have a copy that sold. It's been a while, and it sold for about $9. Granted, out of the UK. So if a US buyer bought it, they also had to pay $21 shipping. So they paid about $30 for this to get this stateside. And when we look at the asking prices, well, they're right around ratio. Really, they're right around ratio. $6, $10, $11. Not too expensive at all. But a couple of them are. Like I said, there were a couple of hits in there. Ones that go for a little bit more. So if you find them, those are obviously the ones you're going to, draw the most eyes if you get them. But some of these, like I said, these are fun things that you can find and look at those barcodes. Learn what the barcodes mean. I try to explain it as often as I can. It gives you the issue number, the cover number, and then the print run. It's usually how it rolls out. So that all said, hopefully you found that helpful. Hopefully you found that interesting. Hopefully you're enjoying everything here on the channel. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out. Thanks for all the support. I still got plenty more to do and plenty more to talk about. Plenty more books to cover. I got a few of these already planned out. So in the coming weeks ahead, we're going to go back to do another Last to Know, probably pretty soon. Probably do another interlocking covers. I got another homage run. So we're going to go and cover just a whole run of homages like we did with the Action ones. I got a few of those that we can do. So I like mixing it up. Hidden Gems is going to be my catch-all because they all kind of fit. That's what these are. These are the things that, like I said, the oddball, fun things that I think are interesting. And I like to share with you guys and give you guys some fun stuff to go and just look for. Sometimes it'll be stuff that might make you a few bucks if you can find it for cheap. Other times it's just stuff that I think is cool, and we can appreciate the hobby for what it is. These are funny books after all. Let's have some fun with it, because if you're not having fun, then I think you're doing yourself a disservice. That's all. That's all. I know. I get it. You can make a lot of money selling comics, but there's a lot more to comics than just the money, right? I don't know. At least that's how I feel. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Like I said, I got more to do. I got to do my Chasing Ghosts soon, which is going to be a Star Wars special coming your way tomorrow. Shorts hitting about noon every day. So I got a new set of shorts hitting. I think tomorrow we got some Conan covers and then a couple more aliens this week. We have an anniversary that's dropping in there. So we'll have a Star Wars anniversary rolling in there as well. And then, yeah, plenty more stuff coming your way. Even have all the shorts planned mostly through June. So a lot of fun stuff coming your way with those. And then all of the live shows. We got a tax show coming this Wednesday live. Make sure you join us in the chat. Marco and Dub are going to give us a rundown of Motor City. They were both there. We'll see if we get any friends who are also at that con to give us a con report. I don't know about you, but I like hearing about the stories from the cons, hearing about some of the prices, some of the finds, things that people bought, some of the things that people dug out of there, some of the SIGs they might have gotten, people they met, all that fun stuff. So we'll do a little con recap this week, and then I'm going to be looking ahead because Fan Expo in Philly is coming up on June 2nd, and I will be attending. I got my press passes, so I will be attending. I don't know what days yet, but maybe a day or two. I might go Friday and Saturday. I don't know. Still debating about that. So we might even look ahead next week to that. Friday night, you got the boys with the Get Off My Lawn collectibles show. Jedi, Dom, and Sticks. It's a great time. You like talking about collectibles and having fun. Interesting perspectives from those three. Three old guys. So that's where the whole idea with the Get Off My Lawn. So you got that older perspective on things. And then you can go and check out on Saturday night special, and have some more irreverent comic fun. Well, a lot of fun segments those guys are doing. I got to go on the show last week. It was a lot of fun. I'll go back one of these days. I apparently got to defend my Jeopardy title. That was a fun game of Comic Jeopardy. So game shows, trivia, lots of fun there on Saturdays. Star Wars show every Sunday, and then we start it all over. And yeah, and with that all said, I've been talking long enough. Thank you again, and I got more content coming your way, and I'll see you all later. All right.